3, 2, 1. It's the liver shot. We're back.
Yes, welcome back. It is Tuesday, April 2nd. We're coming off a great fight night just this past Saturday in Philadelphia. So we'll go over that. We're going to get into UFC 236 coming up in a couple weeks. But just in the last week, we've got a little bit of news come out. So we'll quickly run through that. Cain Velasquez is going to make his pro wrestling debut in August in Mexico City for a promotion called AAA at AAAmania. Good for him, I guess.
I think from a business standpoint, the way everything's changing nowadays where guys realize they don't need to fight till they're 40 years old. They don't need to take all that damage forever. There's other avenues now with promotions of everything. I think it's a good move for Cain because it doesn't mean he can't keep fighting in UFC. It means he's got another avenue to make more money, and guess what? Maybe more people want to see him, especially after the Ngannou fight.
Yeah, I think it's incredibly relevant right now for some reason. I don't know. But with WrestleMania coming up, actually I think just on 60 Minutes this week they were talking about professional fight, how the WWE is ripping off fighters. So hopefully he got a good contract.
Yeah.
And I actually heard an interview with Josh Barnett. He's running a professional fighting organization, I think, or professional wrestling organization, I think, as well. But hopefully he still comes back to the octagon and we see him again, and this is just a one-off thing.
Yeah, my only thing that it looks bad, not to me, but to maybe people in society, is he did this right after the Ngannou fight. So he gets knocked out, my knee blows out, whatever you want to see. Then instantly he's like, all right, I'm going to go to something else. Me, from money standpoint, he's got to keep paying the bills, but at the same time, it's like, how long are you going to do this?
Money for that fight.
No, he made a ton of money. He's going to be out a little bit, so this obviously makes sense. This is another avenue. I just think from a lot of people, it's like, oh, because you didn't win, now you're going to go do something else. But I think Cain's going to be right back in. I don't think he's going to leave. I don't think he's going to do anything drastic. I think this is just a side job right now until he's ready for a big fight again.
Yeah, I hope that's the case. I think it is. It also came out that Greg Hardy is going to co-main another event.
I know you're happy about that.
Card, and I hope he got a whole lot better.
To me, man, for a guy that came in and basically was shocking everything on Dana White's series, Dana even said it. He goes, we'll put him through the true test. He didn't look bad opening up. The worst thing for Greg Hardy that could ever happen was being disqualified in his first debut in the octagon on a main card headliner, and now we're trying to do it all over again and hoping at least he doesn't get DQ'd.
My gosh, yeah, it really did turn out about as poorly as it could have.
Yeah, and I'm worried here for two things for Hardy. One, we know he has massive hands. We know he's aggressive. We know he wants to knock everybody out in a minute, so that's exciting for everybody. But here's the other problem. He hasn't faced other guys that are just as good at doing that, plus 10 times other things in their game. So if he goes against somebody, which I think they're matching him up with somebody that's been a little bit away. He hasn't fought since January 2017, the guy he's going against. But is that because they want Hardy, kind of like a CM Punk, like, we need you to get a win so people can get behind you?
Absolutely.
People got to get behind him. But I honestly think that they're setting him up well, but at the same time, if Hardy falls on his face again, either doing something that looks greedy or ends up getting just absolutely cleaned up with a punch in the first like he does to people, it's going to be really hard to sell him anymore. So I think this is the last-ditch effort for him in the UFC right now.
Yeah, I just think they're rushing.
And that's leading up. That's leading up to the fight. Anything could change. How many times have I been wrong? Every time we do a podcast. So I can't guarantee that he's not going to prove me wrong. But
yeah, whether or not he does well, I just don't think that him or his opponent are entertaining enough fighters to be having a co-main event spot at a big card. It's funny.
Well, the first two fights, and I do not know how to say his name perfectly, but Smolikov has lost his first two fights in the UFC, and then, like I said, has not fought since 2017. Yeah. So this is not a high-ranking, not really an in-the-moment guy.
This is just trying to get
This is just getting a fight for Greg Hardy. Yeah, exactly. But another co-main event that's not making sense to me.
So USADA just issued their first lifetime ban of a fighter, and it was to UFC heavyweight Ruslan Magomedov. I was kind of surprised to hear that was the first one that they'd issued. To be honest,
after everything going on, yeah.
But I guess that's something.
It's 3 strikes, you're out. You know, a lot of people don't realize it. You get popped for your first one, like a TJ situation. You get a redemption. Your second time, you can be up to 4 years, and then 3 strikes, you're out. It's lifetime. the sheer fact that this guy just outright, out of competition, failed, and then said, I'm not even going to piss the second time.
Yeah,
like, refuse to piss. You know you're hot. You know you're pissing jet fuel. So it's kind of a blessing in disguise. The guy probably didn't even need to be in the UFC, because if he was being that obvious...
Yeah, it's the right move for sure.
Yeah.
Yep. This past weekend was also the debut for Demetrius Johnson and Eddie Alvarez in one championship over in Tokyo. Eddie Alvarez got knocked out. Not with the shin kick, but he did get knocked out.
He had 2 shin kicks that came close. What do you think about both debuts? Because I'll get in with it. But overall, everything in a new organization for them. What went well? What didn't go well? That was obvious. What do you think goes on from here?
I don't know. I'd say overall, I thought both of them were going to perform a little bit better than they did. I had said I would not have been surprised if Eddie lost. We both said that we thought Demetrius was going to win. I thought that, I don't know, it makes one look great.
Absolutely.
These are free fights that you can get. The time is tricky to watch them. You got to make an effort to watch them.
But people did that with pride.
Yeah.
Always remember that. Pride, I remember as a kid, I would watch 4:30 in the morning, not knowing what the heck I'm watching, but I knew there was fights on at 4:30 in the morning that were entertaining, that as a kid I watched them that long. So people will latch onto this, whether you're a fan of the sport or you're just getting into it. If they see stuff that happened like that weekend, and then you start seeing these guys' pictures on TV, people will start clicking with it.
Right. Yeah, I think everyone comes out winners except for maybe Eddie Alvarez, but as long as he bounces back, which I think he will, I think he'll be, like I said, I think he will do well over there. I don't think his time as the champion of the organization is past. 2
things for me on Eddie. That fight gave me a lot of flashbacks to the Conor fight, and what I mean...
It kind of did.
The reason I say that is he took a lot of shots up early that I don't think, I'm not going to say he didn't expect to get, but he was not expecting that many that strong. The guy landed a lot of shots, got out of the way of a lot of his. Eddie still threw stuff at him, but that one punch, that left hook, clipped him, took him off his feet, but he was still kind of there. But when he walked away and backed down because he realized how hurt he was, came in for the kill. Same thing with Conor. Now, Conor put in a 4 or 5 punch combo, but the punches leading up to it were kind of like a chipping. And I honestly think, I hope not. Eddie's done it before. He came in his debut against Cowboy, the UFC, after coming out of Strikeforce. Lost. And then just started ripping through the division again, being a name.
That's what Marlon Moraes is doing right now. He lost his first one in the UFC, and now he's ripping through the division.
And that stuff happens, and I hope that happens for Eddie. My thing is, and I know I've talked this about a lot of fighters, you get someone like Eddie who's always in a brawl. There's never a fight there like Eddie didn't put out enough output or he wasn't there. Even the Conor fight, he was getting in there crazy. But is that stuff catching up with him now? Is Eddie getting that chin to where it's a little softer than it used to be, or the amount of damage he wants to take? Because
maybe he's just a little bit slower.
I tell you what, when I saw him get clipped with that and to see him back down, when's the last time you saw Eddie Alvarez not want to walk into you and get reckless? He took that shot, walked back, and it was over. There was no fighting anymore. He was done.
Yeah. I thought that the way Eddie felt, it was very similar to the Conor fight. Just like, almost like he didn't have any answers. He wasn't going to try anything. I felt in both those fights, and just the other guy did whatever they wanted, and he didn't dictate anything. But I mean, after that, he came back. He had wins too. So I think that he'll bounce back. But this should be a awakening for him and for everyone to see there is talent out there. Maybe this looks good for Ben Askren too.
I think it makes Ben Askren look even better, because I know I give Ben Askren a hard time even though I like him a lot. I think it shows that there is levels to this shit, and there's levels all over. The UFC is not the only level tier that you can go up. There's other levels around. So
at least they're not cans. Like they're not.
No.
I think that
this could have went totally opposite. You could have had Eddie gone in there and just absolutely starch somebody, wipe the floor, and DJ go in. And, okay, DJ started out slower than normal. This is a new promotion. This is not the same field. Look at what Machida said when he went to Bellator. He goes, I'm in the cage coming out with fire behind my back. I'm all excited, coming up Pride style. And it still didn't feel like the UFC to him. It's a different feel. It's different fighters. It's things you haven't seen. DJ took his time like he normally does. And to get a standing guillotine choke that tight in that in that division alone, and also now in a new promotion, that just goes to speak volumes that DJ has not skipped a beat. He's healthy, And he didn't take any damage. That's the great
down.
part. Yeah, I think DJ, like you said, I think DJ's got a chance to win that Grand Prix.
Yeah, I would expect him to. And then the last thing I wanted to talk about, also outside the UFC, is your boy Jason Knight is fighting Artem Lobov in a bare-knuckle boxing match. Are you going to watch
What
it?
two better guys? Yes, I'm going to watch it. What two better guys? You got the hillbilly Hick Diaz, going against the original GOAT, which is hilarious, of Artem. But both these guys, trash-talking perfect, hate each other. And guess what? They get to go fight like they would have done in the UFC with no gloves. Yeah, absolutely, I'm going to watch it. Now, what I'm telling you I'm afraid about...
How long do you think this lasts for? Someone dying? Is that what you're afraid
I'm going to
of?
say 2 rounds, and I'm going to say it's going to be not due to a cut or anything of that. I'm going to say someone is going to get one side of their face beat up so bad that they just crumble. My only worry for these guys on another topic, are these guys going to get fucking paid? Because there's been a lot of talk in this bare-knuckling stuff with the money, how it's coming. Is it a scam? Do they have the promotion and the money behind it? Because you got to remember, this is a brand new organization and promotion. They don't have the bankroll that these other guys do. So I hope it is the battle that we want to see, but I also hope whoever does their job gets paid.
Yeah, I think, there's a good chance this does not go past 4 minutes of fighting.
This is 2 UFC released fighters that both always put on a show, but happen to just have a bunch of losses at the wrong time.
Yeah.
This could be a way that these guys... You know what? It doesn't mean that both these guys can't come back to the UFC. Now, I don't know if Artem ever will just because of how long he's been in there, but Jason Knight cleans his shit up.
Oh, yeah. He could
really 100% be brought back.
Yet.
He was entertaining as shit.
Yeah.
Jason Knight said the first thing ever, he goes, I fought for fun, and then once I got all this money, I started wanting to fight for more money and not care, and I started losing.
Yeah,
he took away his heartthrob why he wanted to fight.
He needed to develop.
Yes.
And he fought a bunch. He was very active.
He was the cowboy of that division.
He needed to be active or be less active and train more.
But absolutely, I'll be watching that.
And now he's got Paulie Malignaggi slapped.
Oh my God! You almost threw hands at him at that conference.
Crazy. So yeah.